Hey, how are you? Jackie here. I've been having some tech challenges, but I just wanted to go ahead and do this live anyway. A few of you maybe didn't get the notification that I was going to come on live, but that's okay. I'm just going to leave this up for a short time after we finish the session. And yeah, I mean, let me just make sure that everyone can see this. Who's coming on board? Let me just quickly send the link. How are you? How is your afternoon? I've just come back from just an amazing session at the Africa Youth Summit. It's been amazing. I mean, there's speakers, the lessons. It's totally to die for. So thanks for joining in. And as you're joining, please just type in and say, hey, say where you're coming from, where you're watching from. Thanks for giving me your, this is Thursday. Thanks for giving me your Thursday evening. Hey, Anne, good to have you. Welcome. Yeah, thanks for giving me a Thursday evening. Although for you, it's probably closer to morning. Hey, Mihaki, welcome. Ah, awesome. Thanks, dear. You know, I'm actually in Kigali right now. I don't know if you guys can actually see behind me. There's some really bright. I was staying in this lovely place in Kigali, attending the Africa Youth Summit. And now I can't actually find my headset, so I hope you guys can hear me fine. Yeah, tell me that you can hear me fine. Yeah, but it's really awesome to have you on. It's really good. I hope you're having a good, a good Thursday evening. And so I wanted to take this time just for like an hour for us to talk through the 3 things that will guarantee you your business success. Awesome. Great to have you, Mihaki. And now that we're actually starting off on this series, I'm just starting us off on a series where we're walking through basically how to get to the business of your dreams in 90 days. Okay, and it's really going to be completely like you guys are going to help determine the cost that this will take. Those who are members are actually going to be getting this in the membership site, totally locked away for their viewing and reviewing and rewatching. Okay, so today I want to make it like a time of just for us to reflect and for us to think about what's our vision, what's our purpose. And maybe you're watching and you've been wanting to start a business for a while, or maybe you have started a business and you're wondering how it is that you can make that business be the thing that it needs to be. Thanks, Marvin, for joining in. Welcome. You need to make the business a thing that will bring you fulfillment. Will not be it will not be something that will just drain you, and that you're actually being able to fulfill it to the maximum. And we're going to talk about 3 things today. 3 things that will help you have good business success. What I'm going to do quickly is just put on my headset because I want to make sure that you guys can hear me well enough. And I have my computer in front of me. I'm actually streaming from my phone. So hopefully it's gonna stay in. Hey boss, welcome. Good to have you on. I'll just put on my headset. Let me do that. Awesome. So hopefully the sound should be better. Tell me if it's better and we'll be all set. Okay, so like I was saying, we're going to be talking about 3 things that will help you guarantee your business success. Now, maybe you're here, you're wondering, I have a business. How can I make it, bring me the returns that I want it to bring? So many people, you've heard of the statistics. So many people start a business and within a year, it's either gone bust, they've used up all their savings, and it's just not bringing them the fulfillment or the returns that they really would like. And why is that? Ah, lovely. Thank you so much, Mervin. Thanks for sharing the video. Woohoo, you rock. Actually, I need to share it as well. So as we're going through, is that much better, the sound? Awesome. Glad to hear that. Yeah, sound is always very, very important. So as you're going through your business, just think about it as you've been thinking about getting together a business or actually making it, bumping it up to the next level. Tell me, what are some of the things that have just really come across to you as challenges, some things that you felt like are holding you back or slowing you down or really just keeping you from getting to where you want to be. Just think about those in the back of your mind. But right now what we want to do is focus on the first thing. Okay, the first thing is you need to get clear or, get your vision, let me say, so to speak. You need to know the vision of where you want to be and what you want your business to be. So as we walk along with this, what I'd like you to do, hey, welcome, Ajani. What I'd like you guys to do is just take a piece of paper, or even if you're on your computer, on your phone, just type it out somewhere. Think about where would you like your business to be in the next 3 to let me say the next 6 to 12 months, where do you want it to be? And even if you've not started, maybe for you, that might be you want it to be in a place where it's actually earning money for you, or you want the idea that's in your head to be out there, the world, you want the world to have seen your idea and to be thinking, I need what this person is doing, I need to hire them, I need them to help me get to where they are. So the reason that you want to think about it is that because when you start on a journey, if you don't know where you're going, you're not going to get there, are you? Or you could get there very, very fast or slowly for that matter. But you need to know, just write down, number one, where do you see yourself or your business or the passion that you have? Where do you see it being in the next 3, 6, and 12 months? Okay, now be specific. Do you want it to be earning you, let's say, $1,000 a month? Or do you want it to be giving you an extra, and just to be working half days in a week? For you, maybe that's your focus. You don't want to, your focus is more of having time that you can spend with family, having time you can spend in leisure. Okay, so that's one of them. Then another thing could be, think about all the different areas of your life. Maybe you want to be able to travel as you work. I mean, that's one thing I'm really grateful to God that I've been able to do, is just travel and work at the same time. We just came back from a summit right now. I'm here, I'm in my room, quickly, talking to you guys. Hey, Celine, welcome. So as we talk, then I want to help you also to visualize, like one of the plans, one of the dreams and visions that I had for my business is to be at 100,000 within 6 months, for example, or a year. And then within 2 years, that's $100,000 actually. That's one of the visions. And I'm working towards that, and I'm getting there because and I can see whether I'm getting there because I can actually, what's the word? I can pace myself. I see that if I see the amount that's coming in and I'm like, I'm not doing as good as I wanted to do. So I can up the what do you call it? I can up the effect, or I can up my effort, right? So number one question for those just joining, welcome. It's good to have you. Karibu sana. So for those just joining, just number one, that thing that we'd like to do is to figure out our vision for business, okay? So what you'll do is write down for yourself where would you like your business to be, or what's your vision for your craft, whether you're a consultant or you're a professional. What's your vision for your craft in the next 6 to 12 months, okay? Put it down, yeah? So that's part of just the visioning, right? So the second part of the visioning, because this is a number, we'll talk about 3 things today. Talking about get a vision, okay? Then we're talking about get in the mindset, and then the third thing will actually be get focused. Okay, get in the mindset and get focused is together. I'll say the third thing is actually get implementing, get doing. So number one is get your vision, so get visioning. Number 2 is get in the mindset and get the focus. Then number 3 is get implementing, get acting. Great, welcome you guys. It's good to have you. So what we start off with is number 1, just write down where do you want your business to be in the next 6 to 12 months. Put it down, whether it's your business, whether it's your school, whether it's your profession. Right now we're talking in the context of earning an income from what you do, from your skills. Maybe you're an excellent consultant, maybe you're a financial person, maybe you're someone who, does books for people. Once you know where you'd like to be, then you have something to compare it against, right? Now think about, once you've thought about where would you like to be in the next 6 to 12 months, now think about what would being there do for you. Just imagine, maybe you've written that you want to be able to be earning, you want to have brought in $100,000 from your business in the next 1 year. Or then you want to, something that you feel is attainable, but you also want to push yourself a little bit. Now think about it. Just imagine that you've gotten to that place. What would that really do for you, Would you be able to spend more time with your family? Would you be able to fully feel like you're achieving your potential? Would you be able to feel like you're totally understanding like the impact and really embracing the impact that you can have in the world? So just think about what it would mean for you. I'll admit that for me, when I think about business, most of the times it's really about, I feel for me, it's actually just number 1, achieving my potential, and number 2, helping others achieve theirs. So like if people are able to achieve their potential, I feel really fulfilled doing that. And so I don't like sorry, my light is on and off, so don't worry about that. I don't like it when I see people living under their potential. And so really being able to help people achieve their potential is something that really is motivating for me. Okay, so number one, you've just figured out where do you want to be in the next 3 to 6 to 12 months. Number two, what would that mean for you? Think about it. Just really visualize it. Get into that mode of how would it be? Just imagine yourself being in that place. Okay? Yeah? Then as you think about that, also then, what would be the best part about it? Just try and imagine for yourself, wow, would being able to earn $1,000 a month on the side, would that give me the opportunity to maybe cut down on my work hours? Or would that give me the opportunity to spend more time maybe helping in my church or influencing other people in a positive way? Would it give me more time to spend with my kids? Would it give me more time to expand my horizons and learn something? So think about what it would really mean for you. Okay, so once you've thought about that, the next thing you want to think about is, okay, so what is the best part about it? Because there's always a thing that really, really drives us. When you're thinking about earning more money, maybe the best part about it for you is just the freedom. I'm actually going to tell you guys a story, and I've never actually shared this one publicly. It's so funny. I was talking with a friend of mine yesterday that when I was in Germany, and hey, John, I see you. It's so great to have you. And actually, John and me, we shared, we were in the same university, right? The postgraduate. So when I was in university and just finishing up, and I also was working in the UN when I was in Germany, in Bonn, and I just had my daughter, my second-born daughter, Imani, and she wasn't even 2 days old. I was literally still in the hospital when I get a call from my office. Another time I was working as a consultant with the United Nations, and there was a new boss in town, and he said, you know what, I realized the paperwork that you were given, that is basically your work permit and your reason for staying here in this country, you were given in error, so we need it back. So here's this guy, he's calling me and telling me, we need your paperwork back. So basically, I'm out of a resident permit or a work permit, so is my husband who's there on account of me. My kids, basically, it's like, okay, you need to leave this country, And we've just had our baby. I'm supposed to be rejoicing and celebrating. And for me, it's almost like it was such a watershed experience when I realized, you know what, I just never ever want to be at the mercy of someone else again. Like my ability to be in a country or my ability to earn an income or my ability, just never want to be at the mercy of that person. So that was my motivation at that time. And it's since changed. But there's some moments that you have this watershed experience. And for me, that's one that I remember so clearly. Instead of celebrating, I am mourning and I'm thinking, I'm unwanted, and anyway, it worked out really well. I always tell people I really love the country that I was in because it was really so smooth for them to just switch me to the visa and work permit that I was on before. But that's always driven me to say that I want to be independent. I want to be recognized for what I can contribute and, not have other people then have that power to say, leave this country or not kind of thing. So what is the most important thing for you when you're thinking about what your vision is, where you want to be in 12 months? In 12 months or 6 months kind of thing, yeah? Welcome to those who are just joining. Really great to have you. So once you've identified that, and you've identified what would be the best thing about it, and how would that make you feel? Let's think about how would that make you feel. If you get that independence, and if you get that extra income, or you get that ability to impact your generation, or you get that ability to just be an influencer in your community, how would that feel? Would that really be something that would really get you psyched up and jazzed up? Is that something that would totally have you living at your fullest potential? Okay, so right now we're in the process of visioning. Okay, we are actually clarifying the vision that we want to attain, because that way, once we clarify it, then we know where we're going. Okay, so now it comes to the next point of how get focused and get your mindset right. And this is really, really important. And welcome if you're just joining us. It's really great to have you. Get focused and get your mindset right. Why? Think about this. When you think about that vision, what is it that you can think of right now that is standing in your way, slowing you down, or stopping you from getting that vision implemented? What is it that's really slowing you down, standing in the way, or stopping you? Can you think of anything that could be, think of anything. Let's say, for example, and for those who are here and you're thinking it's really bringing a lot of thoughts in your head, go ahead and share. Feel free to share. We're here. We're a supportive community. We're here to help each other. We're here to just basically support each other. If you can think of something that could be slowing you down, standing in the way, or stopping you, then note that down for yourself. What do you think could be slowing you down, standing in the way, or stopping you? Sometimes we could feel it's maybe lack of knowledge. I don't know how to get started. I tried this the other day, but it failed. So I don't want to get going. I don't want to keep going because I tried it, it failed. So obviously any other thing I try is going to fail again and again, so I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to try. But maybe what else could be standing you and stopping you? There's no right or wrong answer in this. Think about your skills. Do you feel like you need more training? Do you feel like, and maybe I totally relate to this because I'm one I like to, really know what I'm doing before I do it. Literally, whenever we buy anything, and I'm talking about anything, computer, any electronic gadget, anything, even a duvet cover, because I'm sitting in my room and I'm looking at the duvet cover, I will read the manual inside out. I literally score that manual. Every time my kids got medicine, I'll always open up, hey, welcome, so good to have you. Karibu sana, so good to have you. So I would open up the medicine thing and I would look and score it like back to forth and really understand before I give it to my kids or before I decide, this one is good to give to my kids. But even I like to read a manual. So sometimes that is something I know slows me down because I want to make sure I understand something completely before I get onto it. And that can be a reason for procrastinating and just not getting to where you'd like to be. So think about that question. For those that's joining, we're talking about the 3 steps to get your business success, and you can put in there success in any area of life, really. We're talking about number 1 is get visioning. Get your vision. Know it where it is you want to be in the next 3 to 12 months. And then the part 2 of get visioning is know what it is, how it would feel like for you, and be able to really experience that, really visualize it, really see it, and then now the part 2, the second thing we want to do in order to get to that business success is to get focused, get our mindset right. So let's think about what could be standing in our way, slowing us down or stopping us. Is it you feel maybe there's a lack of skill, maybe you don't have the resources. For some reason, whenever people start a project, they might feel, I need a lot of resources. But do you know something? The most important resource you have, obviously, is the one in your brain. But think about it. Is it something is it just standing in the way, slowing you down or stopping you from actually getting to your goal? Is it something that you've decided, I'm going to leave it there? I'm going to leave it there because it makes me feel comfortable. I don't have to rush and try and do something about this goal or vision that I have or this purpose that I want to fulfill. So that's the number 2. Get focused, get your mindset right. What I'm going to do, I'm actually going to put for you, share a link to, there's a visualization video, which is extremely powerful, and it just really helps you unlock what it is that really could be in your mind and in your what could be standing in the way. Sometimes we have these blocks, right? And once we're able to just really let God, I would say, just really open up our minds and receive the kind of the full potential that we have, then we're really able to unlock what our purpose and our vision is, right? So number 1, as we talked about, is get visioning. Number 2 is get focused and get your mindset right. Now, we're thinking about what could be standing in your way, slowing you down, or stopping you. Now, tell me, how does that feel when something is slowing you down? What would you feel is the biggest challenge? Like, what do you feel is the worst challenge? Yeah, I would say that for me, sometimes the worst challenge is just not knowing where to start. And it's actually meant that even before starting my businesses, I spent years and thousands really just trying to learn as much as I could, even before I started implementing. Yeah. So think about it. What is it that could be holding you back from actually doing this? It's either slowing you down, or it's standing in the way, or it's stopping you. And for it to make the most sense for you, what you need to do is just jot it down. Yeah. Jot it down. Think about it. And once you've identified that, just really, what's the worst part about it? What's the worst part about what is slowing you down, standing in your way, or stopping you? For example, is the fact that, you have this vision and you feel like procrastinating is what's slowing you down, standing in the way, stopping you. Maybe the worst part could be that you just feel that you have an untapped potential. I mean, it's so really living with untapped potential is it's difficult. Nobody wants to, we all want to achieve our potential, right? So it just keeps being that thing inside us that's kind of telling us, yes, you see, you didn't manage to do it, yeah. And like I said, there's nothing wrong or right about it. It's just what it is. The minute we're able to name it, then we are actually we're halfway through the journey. Okay, so start to think about it. What's the worst part about what is standing in your way, slowing you down, or stopping you from reaching your goal? Okay, can you think about, what is it that always holds you back? And I'll be honest, even right now, sometimes I do social media, and I'm not as consistent as I'd like to be. And I realize that the main thing that stops me is that I want it to be perfect. Hey, welcome. So it's so great to have you. Welcome. Chat, give us a little note there when you join and let us know where you're watching from. But as I was saying that, it's always so easy to fall back on what we feel are our weaknesses, and they kind of make us very comfortable to stay where we are. And yet it's the minute that we name them, if we name these things and say, number one, it's maybe I'm a perfectionist. Number two, maybe I'm what's standing in my way? I feel I don't have the information I need. Or number three, maybe I feel I don't have the resources I need. So just name it, and then name what's the worst part about it. Okay? So that's just finding out what's standing in your way, slowing you down, stopping you. So tell me. Oh, okay, thanks, Anne. It was great to have you. So the next thing that you need to find out for yourself is then, what can you imagine yourself being, overcoming these challenges? Can you imagine yourself, how would it feel like if you could totally get rid of the challenges or the things that are standing in your way, slowing you down or stopping you? How would that feel to you? Would it feel amazing? Would it feel like, wow, this is total freedom? Just let yourself really think about it and really visualize it. And like I mentioned, I'm going to share in the comments, there's a certain visualization which is completely, it really helps transform your mind when you are, really focusing on doing something and you feel that something is holding you back. And I use this so often. What I'll do, I'll share it in the comments once we're done with the broadcast, so that you can have a chance and go through to it and watch it. It's basically a chance to just meditate and let yourself experience inspiration from above, really. And really let yourself acknowledge that, yes, indeed, what God has put in you is amazing, and He strengthens you to be able to do so much outside. So that's so we've looked at getting focus and getting a mindset. When it comes to the business arena, another very important thing about focus and mindset is to think about, don't scatter yourself too much, but we're going to touch on that a little later. Once you've thought about what's slowing you down, standing in your way, or stopping you, now think about, if you could move all these challenges out of the way, what would that feel like? If you could just do poof and they were totally gone, and suddenly you can flow freely towards your goals, what would that feel like? Would it be total freedom? Would it be, okay, now I no longer have anything standing in my way to reach my goal, so I'm going to get there. There's nothing standing in your way anymore. Just imagine that. Just think about that. This is like a self-reflective exercise in that way, so that we're helping ourselves unlock what it is, that the potential that we have inside for having success at whatever we put our hands to, whether it's in our careers, whether it's in our businesses. It's really just helping us move away from the things that hold us back. And this is something, because the biggest block ever in our lives is us. Let me tell you a story, actually. I think when I first started my business journey, I was working, I was doing things in health. I was really just sharing with friends and family. And, some of you had seen a lot of my posts about health, eating healthy, because my daughter Imani was born with a lot of eczema and a lot of allergies. So I just decided, let me find a way to kind of overcome her allergies naturally. Yeah. So because of that, it became a passion of mine. I've been doing it for 5 years plus. So naturally, I wanted to pass the passion over to be able to help others. So I started. Now, the only thing was, I didn't believe that what I had was worth taking up, or was worth people paying money for it. And so even when I decided that I want to sell this and I want people to maybe pay for a meal plan or pay for maybe lessons, cooking lessons, I did it so half-heartedly, and it really, for people to take that up, I'm not even surprised that actually nobody was able to like really connect with the fact that, hey, this is something that's really useful. This is something that will be so useful for me. I want to pay because I know I'll get the help. Okay, so that was way in the beginning. Now, since then, my mind has totally undergone a shift to the extent that, wow, I realized, hey, there's some people who've been some people don't want to spend the 5 years that I've spent finding out all this information. They just want someone to help them, to guide them, and they want someone who will take them from this point to that point, who's been there, who can actually give them their best tips in the shortest time and with the most effect. And that really transformed my mind to the extent that I was like, yes, now I saw that this is something that people will pay for. And I think the minute that happened, then it was completely natural that it, from the inside out, it happened from the inside out. When the minute that I understood that what I have is actually helping people in the same way that it helped me. If I knew then, when I first had my daughter who had eczema, if I knew then the natural ways to maybe help her avoid all the allergies, and I didn't have to go and search and spend years and spend countless hours, but I just had someone who had gone through that same journey helping me, then that's something I would really, really value, right? So it totally transformed my mind. And I'll be honest with you, starting from a point then where I would charge $29 a month, even then not believing that it would be worth it to anyone, to the point now where I can charge even up to $897 a month for a service, because I know my mind has undergone a shift. And it's a very amazing thing, the power of the mind. Like when we totally allow our minds to realize, to be open to the idea that we're bringing value and we're bringing it in a way that is worth the value that we are also getting back, The value being, of course, you give value and you get paid for your wages. The Bible says a workman is worth his wages, right? So that really transformed my mind so much. And I want to share the same with you guys, that when you're thinking, because we're in the second process of get your mindset and get focused. So when you're in the process of getting your mindset right, you need to be aware of it. Also, don't rush yourself, because then you're not going to be genuine, and then you're not, people will pick that up. Just don't rush yourself. Go at the pace which you can go with when it comes to the context of starting business or taking up responsibilities. Maybe from charging $29, the next thing was charging $100 a month, for example. Then after that, it's $200, because the next stage actually was, yes, group coaching, $400 a month, and then the next stage after that, $300 for group coaching. But by then, actually, I had moved out of the health field, coaching the health field, and more into coaching for business. So it's more of don't tell yourself that you're wrong. You're never wrong. You're always right. But also let yourself embrace the fact that you do have value and you do bring a lot to the table. Yeah. So that's number 2. We've talked about number 1 is get visioning. Okay. And then number 2 is get your mindset right and your focus right. Now, number 3 is get acting. Yeah. Which is really just, hey, you figured out that you have these things that are holding you back. You've imagined how it would be to be free of these things. Now, once you're free of them, then what are you going to do? How are you going to move from step 1 to step 10? How are you going to move yourself from here to the next step? And that's where it comes in, where you actually start to put into action the things that you need in order to get you, yes, at the right place. And I'll actually break this into 5 main things that you need to do. We've already clarified our vision, actually, which is we've clarified where we want to go. You've identified that in 3 to 6 months or 6 to 12 months, you want to be in a certain place, and give it numbers. Give it, I want to be living in a 12-bedroom house, if that's not where you are living right now. Give it numbers. Say, oh, I want to be earning $1,000 more than what I'm earning. In fact, don't even say about more or less. Just focus on the end destination. In fact, I'll tell you actually the same for weight. Yeah. Hey, welcome. So good to have you. So the same for weight is that when you're at a place of, I want to lose 10 kgs
what you're focusing on is the losing. And that's a negative. That's actually a negative focus. What you need to do is shift it. And I found that so useful. I've learned it and it's been amazing. Shift it to the focus of, okay, if you lost 10 kgs of weight, what weight would you be at? You'd be at 70. So make that the focus. I am going to be 70 kgs. And so the same for your business or for your career or for the thing that you want to accomplish in your life. You basically take that thing and put it as the destination. Don't say, oh, okay, now I want to be earning $1,000 more, because then you're comparing it to where you are. But no, give yourself a destination and say, this is it. I'm going to be earning $5,000 a month, or as on my side business, or I'm going to be earning 10,000 or 100,000 as my side business, So, hey, nice to have you, Hillary. Thanks so much. Thanks for joining. So good. Karibu. So focus on the thing that you're looking at, right? So that's number one when he talks to now get actioning, right? Now, number two is strategize your actions. I'm just going to quickly talk about this Pareto's principle. We all know about Pareto's principle, how you have the 80%, the 20% of things that you do that will give you the 80% of results. And that's true of every single thing in this world. Have you ever noticed that there are times you read for exams, and I'm talking about this because, probably reading was not too far in my past, but it was the most significant thing I can imagine. When I used to read for exams, there's 20% of reading I would do that would give me 80% of the results. And then when I moved beyond that 20%, it was the law of diminishing returns. All of these work together, right? So that's one thing that we can really focus on is identify the 20% of things you do that will give you the 80% of returns. Not everything is as important. And I've been talking about, for those who are blogging and want to grow their business, I've been talking about it with you guys about, it's never so much about, how much you can do, but it's about how strategic you can be about what you're doing, right? So blogging is not going to be very strategic in the beginning when you're starting a business and you want to get known. No, and I talk about different ways, different strategies that one can use in order to get from point A to point B. So just really to hone down, and I'm going to be talking about that. I think in the series that I'll be doing for the next 12 weeks, it's more of be really, really just focus on the 20%. And in working on business for the last 15 months or so, I've realized the most important ones when it depends on the stage in business that you are, and really the most important always will be marketing and just getting your message out there. Those will always be. I mean, the minute that you've connected with your people, the people that really need what you have, then you just need to get your message out there. And the minute what you're giving is connecting with people, then now next thing is to get your message out there, yeah? And those are just some of the things. We'll be talking a lot more about those as we go on. Because I plan to just do this once a week, every week, so that when you come on, you're able to catch what you can, or join in the program. It's really, I'll leave the link below so that if you want to do that, you can. So that's number two, right? We've talked about strategize your actions. No, number one is clarify your vision. Number two is strategize your actions. Then number three is actually create a supportive environment. So you want to create a supportive environment. We'll talk about the people environment, talk about the mental environment. We'll talk about the physical environment. So for example, I work from home. So one of the very important things that has been for me is that I need to have a place that's conducive for my work. So that's a physical environment, my office. But sometimes, the mental environment is just as important. In fact, even more so, because if you don't have the mental environment, that will mean that you're giving you're acknowledging the value that you bring to the world, and you're actually giving that value and knowing that you actually can expect the return from that, then it can slow you down in like your development of your business, of your career, of just basically everything. So the mental environment is very important, right? Physical environment, mental environment. How about people environment? Do you have people that are around you who are supporting you? I'm so grateful. I always tell people this, that my husband he's so amazing. He's really someone that has continually been this supportive person for me in my businesses. Just the other day, I was saying, there's this training I really feel that I need. It can take me to the next level. And I was like, let's do it. Let's get you in on that training. And I know that not everybody can say the same of the place where they are. But what is it, where you are, what is it that you can do to create that supportive environment? Can you then communicate more about what it is that your vision and your purpose is, and bring people on board? whether it's your partner, whether it's your family members. Yeah, because I know this is something that I can passionately speak about it, because when I just finished campus, and I've talked about it a couple of times, when I just finished campus, there was I worked, I think, for Navigators for about a year, and nobody could understand that. They couldn't understand it. Like, you've just finished a degree in computer science and you're kind of doing ministry, which is, you're kind of doing charity work, so they could not understand this completely. But they've since come to really appreciate it and understand it, and I'm glad for that. But then that support, I didn't feel the support that I would have loved to have felt, you know. So you need to create that. Whether you're not creating that, I mean, at that time I was lucky that then I got the support as well from the ministry and from the work that I was involved in. Yeah, welcome. So good to have you, Rita? So I got the support from the ministry that I was involved in. And as I got that support, then it also helped me really just come into my own, and therefore then not need as much of probably external support as possible. But we all need the support. Thanks so much for those hearts, guys. We all need the support that comes from having people around us that are keeping us motivated, are keeping us focused. So, for example, the mastermind group that I've put together is something that it's just to help you. How many of us do you get motivated by just being by knowing that somebody's going to ask you tomorrow? So did you send out, thanks for the hearts, I appreciate it. Did you send out that email, or did you make that call? Did you approach that client, you know? What is it that will help you keep motivated? Is it someone who's going to call you up and say, you know, you told me that you would be done with this. How did it go? You know? Thanks so much. So what is it that's keeping you motivated? And can you create that supportive environment? Can you get together with a group of people where you are? Do you want to join the group of people that we are in the mastermind, so that if you have a very clear vision and a very clear dream, you know that your dream it's not dying, because you're not just giving it the time and the space it deserves, but it's actually growing. And as it grows, you're also growing, and you're also becoming a better person. You're becoming the person that you're meant to be. I don't know if it's just me, but do you also feel that when this one area of your life is suffering, somehow other areas, they also kind of suffer. But conversely, when this area of your life is really doing well, then the other areas also really do well. Like, if I'm really having wonderful results at work, it's so easy to just then have such a great time with my family because I'm more relaxed, the stress is not much. But on the other end, when there's so much stress, then, you know, the other areas also suffer. So what is it for you that that you just need to round up and just embrace and create that environment that will support you through? Great. So for those just joining, we've been talking about, number one, get visioning. Just really know what your vision is. Know what it is you want to achieve in the next 3 to 6 months for your business, for your life, for your career, for your relationships. Know what you want to achieve in the next 3 to 6 months or 6 to 12 months. That's get visioning, and really, really get into it. Just really, really feel, how will it be? What would be the best part about doing it? What would be the worst part about not getting to that goal? Actually, focus on what will be the best part. Then the next thing is get the focus and the mindset. And the mindset is now figuring out, okay, so what's actually slowing you down? And once it slowed you down, then how does that really feel? Whatever it is that's stopping you from moving forward, how is that feeling right now? And what's the worst part about it? And how can I, just really name that feeling so that it removes the power of that feeling. And then the minute that you're able to resolve that, or really just identify it, you're able to name that thing, and remove its power. Then after that, you get actioning, right? So what can you do in order to move beyond that? What are some things that you can do? And we broke that down into 4 actually. So far we've just done 3 of them. Strategize your actions. No, first clarify your direction and your vision. Then number 2 is strategize your action. And then we talked about creating a supportive environment all around. And then actually the 4th one is upgrade your skills. Someone said, and I think I read this recently, that you cannot, what got you here is not what will get you to the next hill, or it's not what will get you past the next 10,000 kilometers or 10 kilometers. It's not. It got you here, but to get to the next, you're going to need more. So that means you need to upgrade your skills. And there's so many amazing ways to do that. I don't know if you guys read. I read a lot. I think I've... Hi, Ida, Karibu, and Sarah. So great to have you guys. I read so much, as I was saying, and my daughter Opendo has taken that up from me. She's a total reader. But reading is, I find it this way of really learning from people's experiences without having to go through it. So right now, I would say I'm reading like 4 books. It's so amazing. On Kindle, obviously. One of them is The Ask Method by Ryan Levesque. And then I'm also reading, there's one by Frank Kern, but I don't know why I forget the name. It's quite a number. I need to focus more on maybe not reading as many and really implementing. But think about what it is that you can do to upgrade your skills. So you're not staying at the same place, but you're moving. You're actually taking a step forward and forward and forward. And you're giving yourself room to actually develop and grow. So that if you've gotten here by the things that you have and the skills that you have so far, what's going to take you to the next place? Because the minute we stop learning, we stop growing, we stop upgrading, we actually stop progressing, you know. Let there always, and I found this really useful because I've been part of a group, an online group, and I think at some point I was like, why is it that now I feel I've kind of outgrown it and I need more, what's the word? I need more of a challenge. And for me, that was really good to feel because I realized, wow, a year ago, this was exactly the kind of group I needed. But this is a year later, and I'm feeling that, no, I actually I need more of a challenge. So that's a sign of growth. Whenever you're feeling discontent with the place where you are, then you know that you actually need to move to the next step and keep growing and keep upgrading. So maybe you're reading books, maybe you're watching videos. My kids are always teasing me, Mommy, is that another webinar? I'm like, yes, it's another webinar. And podcast and all those things. I'm always listening to those and implementing as well. But I think one thing that you learn from the people, Fortune 500 company CEOs, welcome, so good to have you, Margaret. So one thing you learn from the Fortune 500 company CEOs is that they're constantly reading, they're constantly learning. They never stop because the minute that they stop, they're going to stagnate. And the same for us. I would encourage us that. So you guys, it's been so awesome. You know, I think I'll open up some time for maybe questions. If anyone has any thoughts or any questions, that would be great. And in the meantime, I'd also like to tell you a bit about the mastermind that I'm running. We've talked about the 3 things, right? Get visioning, get focusing, get your mindset right. And number 3 is get actioning, right? So at the point where, I mean, from the very start, I mean, we start off with just really helping you get your mindset right. And I hope I'm going to remember to share with you guys some of the visualization I really enjoy. But even beyond that, is just really getting your mindset right. Sometimes having this aha moment that what you have and what you have to offer is completely valuable to the people that need it. And knowing that it's okay, it's totally okay to put your worth out there and share it with the world and actually receive back for it. I mean, the Bible says, I've quoted this one already, that it says a workman is worth his wages. And oftentimes when we're in business, or I think mainly when we're in business, because we never go to our workplace and say, no, you know, you don't tell your employer, no, I don't think I deserve for you to pay me that salary. But when it comes to business, sometimes we're like, no, you know, maybe I don't think I deserve to be paid this amount. But it's all about the mindset. So it starts from there. And so what we'll do in the mastermind is just walk you through getting your mindset right. Really calling out some of those invisible scripts, as they're called, things that we've always done, which kind of, we don't know where they came from. And now I'm going to be completely vulnerable with you guys that I always wondered, why was it that I always insist and tell my kids, you need to finish the food on your plate. And you know what I realized? It's because, I mean, some of you know that I have tons of sisters, right, and brothers. I grew up in a family of 10, the same mother and father, 10. So what always happened is, whenever we got food, you just never had excess food. You always had just the correct amount of food that you needed. We didn't starve. I mean, God had blessed my dad and my family really with resources, right? But for 10 kids, I mean, you're definitely not going to be serving 10 kids like plate piled high. So we also knew not to waste. So we'd always eat. We'd always eat, and you would definitely finish your plate, clear it. There'd never be any situation when you're not clearing your plate. So that's, I'm just using it to illustrate that this invisible script, because now, as a parent, I cannot stand for my kids to leave food on their plate. So I'm now better at it. I'm like, if someone is full, you need to let them stop eating. I'm like, it's fine, put in the fridge, and that can be warmed up for next time or whatever. I still don't throw food though. I mean, it's really hard to throw food. I think, I still think it's like, it's wasteful for whatever reason. But when I thought about it and I realized it was actually from my upbringing, that made me laugh so much. Oh, that's so lovely. Oh, thanks, Mihaki. That's so good to know. You're saying you'll be speaking at the Mombasa Women Business tomorrow about raising one's values, and there's so much to borrow from this session. Oh, that's wonderful, Mihaki. I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah, that we need to realize what we're worth, and be aware of those invisible scripts, like I said. For me, I've literally seen that transformation in my mind. Like, there's a time when that switch just turned on and made me realize, wow, it's true. I have value. I have paid people to bring me the same value that I have. So why wouldn't I want someone to pay me as well for the value that I know I'm bringing? So, I'm glad to know that you've walked away with that. And if there are any other thoughts, you guys feel free to share. And if there are any other questions, I did say we'd go maybe for about an hour. We started about 50 minutes ago. So maybe, we can wind down. And if there's any really questions that you guys would have, feel free to put it in the chat box and we'll try and answer. Nice to see you, Angelo. Welcome. So for those who are in small business, just really to figure out then, as part of the mastermind, what we would do, and I was just wanting to spend some time to tell you guys a bit about the mastermind, is that what we're doing is just getting together virtually, people from all over the world, really. There's no geographical limit here. And we're meeting together weekly. So what I do is run a training session similar to this. There'll be some that will be more in-depth, really much about explaining, really going in-depth into, hey, these are ways that you can advertise your business for $1 a day and start to get really focused leads. Or these are ways that you can automate social media so that you're not spending more than 5 minutes a day on it. Karibu. Or these are ways that you can, what are some of the things? These are ways that you can set up your systems to be spick and span and perfect from the word go, so that you're not running and stressed come tax season, for example. Or these are ways that you can, just different things that really would drag people down. These are some things that you can focus on, but these are some things that are really a waste of time. So really just talk about strategizing your actions, right? So we'll go through each of those. Some of the trainings will be very specific, very it's like a tutorial where I'm really showing you this is what you can do. Others are more talking then about the mindset, about the strategy, about the overarching vision and focus, and how to get the most out of what you're doing, what actions you're doing. And it's amazing. I was today at, just to give you a little peek, I was today at the Youth Summit here in Kigali, and I'm in Kigali, for those who maybe didn't hear me say that at the beginning. And there's an amazing group of people there, people who are in business, people who are really much developed in business. And there's one gentleman that said something, and it really resonated with me, and it's something that I've also learned, is really, and it really ties into the session that I had planned for you guys as well, that number one is try to focus on the one thing and not to do this thing and then the other thing and then the other thing, but really focus on this thing and give it its full worth. If you're focusing on doing a certain thing, focus on it, iterate, make it better until you know that you've made it the absolute best it could possibly be. You have tested, you've optimized, you've done every possible thing that you could completely do, hoping that in the beginning, the idea in the first place was really like a viable one, that you'd already tested and validated and made sure that people really need that idea. They need that, they need what you're offering, right? So focus, right? And I'd say the second thing then is to just build iteratively, which is something that I can agree is that, like here I am doing my Facebook Live, because for some reason, I was actually going to do a webinar through my usual mode, which is like YouTube Live. Hey, karibu sana, Thomas. But I was going to do a YouTube Live, but my tech failed. So is that going to stop me from actually doing the session? No. And I'm so glad that we did end up connecting right here, because then even more people get to see and get to learn together, right? So build iteratively. The minute that you want to put a product out when it's perfect, you're already too late. You actually should have put it out at least half the time that you have used, probably even a quarter of the time that you have used, because you don't need to be perfect from the word go. I can tell you there are these online software services that I have bought, which are so buggy, but you know that they're in the process of fine-tuning it, and in 2 years it's going to be such an amazing product, but yet they're still able now to focus on the one thing that they can give value and sell it. And they're not saying, no, let's wait until the product is perfect, because when it's out there, that's when you perfect it. So when we're out here together, when we're together seated, then I learn, oh, this is what you're really interested in. How can I help you perfect that? How can I help you build it iteratively? And I guess you could call it in computer speak, it's like using agile methodology, which is you create the most minimum viable product, the thing which, if it was selling a course, let me tell you what the most minimum viable product is. The most minimum viable product is literally a web page. It could even be a WordPress free website, and probably a place that people can sign. In fact, no, the most minimum viable product would actually be just your Facebook page where people can learn about you and your name there to say, hey, message me and let's chat, So they have a place to to connect with you, and they have a place for you to interact. The minute that you're there with your knowledge, that's all you need. And then the rest is just bells and whistles, yeah? And that's something I'm learning a lot. So we talked about then number 1 is to really focus. Number 2 is to build iteratively. And number 3 is focus 10% of your effort. Hey, karibu sana. So good to have you guys. Welcome. So good to have 10% of your effort is in the building. And then the remaining 90% should be in the selling. Don't spend. I don't know if you guys get this, because do you realize? Is it something you've seen as well? Like I think as business people, we spend. How do we? I think we spend the other way around. We spend 90% of our effort in building something, and then so 90% of the effort is like this, and then when it comes to time to sell, we do this little thing on the side, like it's a 10% of effort of selling, and that's totally not the way it's supposed to be. This is some of the things that I've been learning and implementing, and they've been amazing. Just the responses that nobody needs a perfect thing. Put it out there. As long as it's doing what, providing the value that they need, build it together with the people, build it iteratively, and spend 90% of your time on putting it out there, on just, how I call it, on selling and on getting it out there. We don't spend enough time on getting what we have and the good things that we do. We don't spend enough time putting them out there. So, yeah. Thanks so much for joining. It's so good to have you, Charles and Amenge and Ajibike. It's so good to have you guys join in. We're just actually winding down, but hopefully you can catch the replay. Maybe I'll have it up for another hour. And then if someone would like to kind of, be part of the series on an ongoing basis, again, I'll put the link there. You can join in anytime. But we've talked about get visioning, and number 2 is get your mindset right. And number 3 is get actioning. So that process of just getting from having an idea and having the idea become something that is actionable, right? And then there's some sub-steps in there. So again, I think when we're done, I'll probably just summarize this and share it with you. But any thoughts from you guys, please do share. As I said, I'm in Kigali at the moment. The Youth Summit is amazing. We've been having some wonderful discussions about youth, about entrepreneurship, about failing fast, and just, going out there and learning through failing. So good to have you guys join in. Any questions, just type them in there. Even if you don't put them in, and I will wind down. I think, let me say this is the last 30 seconds of the session. So if you have a quick question, just put it in. But if not, then hey, I'm so grateful that you gave me your Thursday evening. I'm totally like awed and honored. I'm awed and honored. And yeah, I hope that you learned something, and I hope that you enjoyed just listening to this, and that it's also going to impact you when you think about what you want to do, what your business will be like, or what your career or what your contribution to the world will be like. Yeah? So, peace out. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.